Hey everyone, DFA here, welcome back to the channel, and yeah, this video is going to be about Hakuryu, a ship I've already covered, the Tier 10 Japanese CV, simply because while preparing the Eagle review I did replay all my Tier 10 CVs, and because I simply wanted to see how the Eagle was actually comparing to them. And also how the release of the two premium CVs would actually affect the hierarchy of carriers at Tier 10. And by general consensus, this one is the best one, but also the ones that required the highest amount of skill. So let's find out how it has evolved and what it's still up to in 2024. And essentially, if the playstyle has evolved, because I called the original review patience. You really need to be patient with that ship. Do one thing at a time, because otherwise managing those six squadrons can be quite overwhelming. If you do have the skill to do it, good for you. That is simply not the case for me. So yeah. So I think this CV still takes an insane amount of skill to do well with. I think it's really the best platform to practice everything you know and can do about CVs. And we're going to illustrate. I've chosen that gameplay because it allows me to illustrate a couple of techniques as well. So the first thing you do is you master fire and floods. Unfortunately, yeah, we do not manage to set that GK on fire, so we can actually follow up quite rapidly with our torpedo bombers. It means that you do lose a little bit more of them, because yeah, they tend to suffer a bit more from the AA by going separately. And so yeah, you kind of have to watch over your hangar with that thing as well, and that's one of the reasons why you see me prioritizing taking out enemy fighters as quickly as possible before I do send my dive bombers and torpedo bombers. They are not super resistant. There you go, the fighters of the midway are out. And yeah, I'm going to let it overwhelm me. I do two things at the same time, and I do lose my fighters in the dogfight with the midway. But only one squadron, and then you can use another technique to actually still do something. You send the other squadron immediately back, and as soon as the midway has finished its dogfight, it actually gets baited. So yeah, so that's how you can actually salvage one of these situations, and again, being patient, doing one thing at the time. As soon as I have dealt with the enemy fighters, I can actually focus on the regular. So yeah, I do stack my torpedo bombers because I want both squadrons to hit at the same time, and I know that that regular is actually busy with the Lepanto. That's and I can trash him. So yeah, it's still the best platform for nuking enemy destroyers, but yeah, you cannot nuke them all, right? These have a fairly large amount of hit points, so yeah. And now it's time to get our positioning in order, because yeah, I'm going to send one squadron of bombers to the Attilo to make sure that it remains spotted no matter what he decides to do, and I'm going to run away from the battleship that's running towards me, the Thunderer, which is on my left. And yeah, it could become a very tricky situation there, because I do have the GK pushing on the enemy team, so I kind of have to go concealed with this one. The Thunderer is the most immediate target that's available, so I'm going to attack him a little bit. Yeah, a bit lucky there. The dive bombers actually managed to finish the Attilio regular, so that's good. And yeah, we do not set the Thunderer on fire, but I'm still going to follow up, and I absolutely want to use my concealment to get away from that tricky situation. So I do use the concealment mod on my Hakuryu, and that's actually what's going to keep me alive in that game. You will see that in a moment. And so yeah, because I'm kind of stuck between between a rock and a hard place there, because yeah, I do have the GK that's pushing on me. I do have the Thunderer, so I do have the GK on my right and the Thunderer on my left, and obviously I'm going to be a priority target for the two of them. But I've actually managed to evade the Thunderer, and while the GK is actually still spotting me, I'm going to use my maneuverability and my speed to run away from him, because I can actually outrun this one. And yeah, that's where using the concealment module is actually fairly useful, because that extra kilometer of concealment that you gain, and yeah, you see, as soon as he turns to actually focus me, that's where I can actually get away, because yeah, there I can use my speed. So I'm going to be undetected in a couple of seconds, and in the meantime I can actually focus him while making sure that I am not detected by the Thunderer. So yeah, I have to use a damage control kit there to keep my mobility and to make sure that I do not get detected, and in the meantime we can actually focus on that Großerker first. That is what that thing does best, punishing isolated ships if you have the anger to do so. And yeah, the destroyer that I was protecting with my fighters managed to destroy the enemy midway, which means that I can actually bring back my fighters and sacrifice them on top of the AA of the Großerker first to make sure that my squadrons remain relatively safe. So we do set him on fire, he does damage con, it means that the next wave of torpedo bombers will actually be able to flood it. And so while I'm calling them, I'm also positioning my fighters next to the Großerker first, so they actually share the AA damage with my torpedo bombers. And yeah, we should be able to flood him absolutely no problem, and that's essentially how you play the fire and flooding game with that thing, and now you make sure that your hangar does not get depleted. So yeah, time to discuss the Hakuryu in 2024. So still a top dog? Yes, absolutely a top CV in 2024, and probably the best tech tree one, if I'm honest. Yeah, because yeah, it does take a lot of skill to do well in it, to manage the 6 squadrons, the hangar, etc. It's quite a lot of things, but I was able to show you hopefully a number of tricks that you can use today. And essentially what I think that it compares positively to the Malta is that it's a lot more versatile. It's a lot easier to be handling DDs with that thing, and the fighters are a lot superior. The Malta cannot do anything against an enemy CV in-game. This thing can actually defend itself, and it's much more helpful to the team than a Malta, which is actually much better, I think, at farming damage. So I don't know if it's better than FDR, to be honest, because FDR is such a stupid ship with an unlimited hangar, but the Hakuryu, replaying it again in 2024, I fell in love with it, and I really love it actually, so I will thank the Eagle for that. It's actually put my ideas in the right place. You do not have to spend money in this game to be competitive at tier 10. That thing is certainly very good for that. Next week I will be testing the legendary mod on that thing and comparing the legendary and epic commanders that are available, so stay tuned for that if you're interested in Japanese CVs. So in the meantime, stay safe, take care, that was DFA signing out, bye bye!